It's rough, and it's going to get rougher. No good for a triple road train, carting damaged trucks, cars and trailers that bounce around, causing straps and chains to come loose.
It's just the mongrel corrugation, just flogging everything, smashing everything to bits. If ever you're going to have trouble with a load, it's this sort of mongrel Mad Max chain-grabbing, strap-breaking sort of a load. The bloke said to me a while ago, I suppose you get used to corrugations after a while, and he came that close to me throwing him out that door. It wasn't funny. You never get used to corrugations and you never get to like them.
It's been christened the Phantom. A shiny, loud, look-at-me rig that demands attention wherever it goes.
Everyone looks at the truck and thinks, oh, a nice highway truck. But it's rough. There's nothing flash about it.
With Sludge behind the wheel, it's proved its mettle many times.
It's done a hard job. It's done 1 million Ks of hardcore getting flogged and belted.
Oh, it's a little welty.
Probably never thought I'd belt it like I do, but to actually be able to prove that you can take a highway truck and beat things senseless, and it still comes home every trip, it's great.
Heavy floods have hit the rich farmland hard.
And this has been going on for 6, 8 months. I can't believe this water's still here. And it's like every time you go down there, you never know what you're in for because the roads are just underwater.
With farmers cut off for weeks at a time, Sludge and his 20-ton tanker carrying 55,000 litres of fuel provide a vital lifeline, if they can make it through.
We're going through farmers' paddocks, you know, and they think, oh, yeah, you'll be right, you just duck down through this track. But, you know, 50,000 litres of fuel, 55,000 litres of fuel going down a farm track, it's a lot of weight on a track that's made for a Land Cruiser or a tractor.
A lot of weight. And Sludge's road train is about to get even longer and heavier. It's hauling a third trailer, carrying 18 tonnes of steel.
A mate of mine lost a shed down there last week. Builds big dome-style sheds. We're going to take some coils of sheet metal down there, and in return, they're going to cut all the domes up, and he's going to give me some to go over my containers here at home. So he gets a free load of metal down there and doesn't have to pay for the freight, and in return I get a big dome shelter to go across my 2 40-foot containers. Although I'm getting a shed for nothing, I don't want it to hold my fuel up because we'll end up with farmers running out of fuel just because I'm doing a little perk job for myself. So I've got to be a bit careful.
Already running 2 hours late, he gets a call that throws another spanner in the works.
So Stephen Lloyd is out.
The fuel delivery close to where he's dropping off the steel has been cancelled. Now he'll have to drive out of his way.
So now we're going to have to go all the way down to do the shed when I was actually going down there to do a farming. You call it character building is what they call it. I call it just trying to piss you off.
The extra weight could make his going tough on the waterlogged roads.
They're having a hell of a lot of trouble down here with roads. You know, they don't build roads like they used to anymore. The roads are just falling apart. And we're coming up to our busiest time of the year, which just turns the whole lot to a bloody schmozzle. And they're talking more rain down here today, so I'm hoping we're not going to get a wet arse. So I want to get out before it rains, especially with this load.
Up ahead, his first dirt road.
So hopefully it's open, but if it's closed, we've got probably a 30k round trip to get around the other way. No, it's bloody closed. Look at that. Wow.
Closed roads have forced tanker driver Sludge onto a detour that's thrown his plans into chaos.
I don't want to end up bloody stuck down here.
He still hasn't made his first delivery, and the third trailer loaded with 18 tonnes of rolled steel is making the drama worse.
I don't want all the coils covered in mud, so we'll just drop it off here. And I have to come back and pick it up, so that's going to be another hour. Bloody wasted. Oh. No, this should have been a nice, easy trip. You're doing something to make life easy, and it just turns to shit again, bites you in the arse.
Sludge's GPS doesn't tell him what roads are flooded or the best route around them, so it's map time.
17 k's back. 17 k's is a long way.
Sludge will have to come back later for his trailer.
Oi, my little trailer.
Right now, his priority is his customers.
I haven't really got any time to waste. Oh, looks like we got another road closure.
The road's closed, but Sludge is in a hurry, so he's rolling the dice.
Like the road's closed.
Maybe he can get through.
Let's hope we don't have to do a U-E up here and go back out the other way. You can see the velocity of the water's come through and just cut half the road away. So there's a lot of rain to come down to do something like that. We're all right up here on top of it, but if we get down into the waters and the hollows down here, the road surface will be soft because we are 50, 70, 80 odd tonne. So if we break through, we just disappear.
Sludge might be in luck. The road in front is dry and good. It looks like his gamble has paid off. Until this.
That is the end of that. Oh well, it's called time management shot up the arse.
And when you're a 25-metre long B-double, reversing out of trouble is a truckload of work.
I love U-turns like a hole in the head. So at least I can turn around here. I don't have to back 10 kilometres. That's what you call a classic waste of 30 kilometres.
It's a serious setback. 2 roads tried, 2 roads closed. Sludge should have made 3 of his 6 deliveries by now.
The pressure's on to supply them and get it in there.
He hasn't made any.
If we don't get the fuel in, the crops will be ready to go, and then they've got no fuel, so they can't run the machines.
And he'll lose more time reattaching the trailer with the steel coils he just parked up.
I was hoping to see this trailer in about 2 or 3 hours' time, not in about 2 or 3 minutes' time. You win some, you lose some. You just lost one. Every time I have to hook and unhook this today is going to piss me off, but then I'm just going to have to remember that it's for me. I'm doing this for a new shed.
He'll have to take the troublesome third trailer with him while he finds a way through to his next stop.
I love getting bogged. It just excites me to death. Here we go again. Let's have another go at this. Yeah, we've got no road closed on this. This is the start. But pretty much this is the last option. There is no other road. The last time I was down this road, it was underwater down here as well.
No water this time. His first break on a trip that's been threatening to fall apart.
It's only 2 hours later, and we've made our first drop. So it's a waste of 2 hours. So 2 hours tonight gone. The joy of being a truck driver.
Sludge still has 5 deliveries to go.
Scotty Lawrence, 4,000 litres and some ULP.
But the water is not finished with him yet.
You go right through that mud.
Another bog hole. It could be nothing, or it could ruin his day. Sludge has lost enough time. He's going through.
If it's like that, I tend to normally zoom through a little bit. I just don't like getting everything wet and dirty. I don't have to.
He's well behind schedule, racing to deliver fuel to farms in time for the harvest.
It's a hard time of the year, you know, like you push yourself to the limit all the time. Today we've got 6 drops, so we'll stop, we'll start, we'll bloody run around. We've got petrol as well today, so 6 drops is not just 6 of diesel, we've got 3 or 4 drops of petrol. So you've got to change your pumping gear to the other one. So it all takes time.
Putting extra pressure on his schedule is the favour he's doing for a friend.
We're going to head down towards Esperance, drop this off to me mate. They're going to unload it for us and reload it, and I'll go out and do some more fuel deliveries.
At the mate's place, Sludge is finally able to rid himself of those heavy steel rolls. At last, he has an empty trailer.
Next time we see this, it'll have my new shed on it.
But there's still one fuel delivery to go. Sludge is way behind and needs to get it done in a hurry. But once again, the weather is threatening to stop him.
Got a big storm going through out there. There's more weather coming in, so I don't want to be stuck on this bloody road when it gets wet because it just turns to an ice skating rink.
There's bitumen a few kilometres ahead, and it can't come soon enough.
We've only got a few k's left to get off this road because it's starting to get a bit slippery. Very stunning bit of bitumen this. It's only one lane, but it's better than the muddy shit we were just on. At least it's not slippery. Now we're just about out on the last farm in captivity, really. There's only probably one more farm beside them and then start heading out onto the Nullarbor.
Last fuel drop completed. Sludge has only one job left. Pick up his trailer and the free shed that's caused him all the grief, if it's ready. And it looks like it is, loaded and set for the journey home.
Here she goes. She's on a good backer. Take that, Yogi.
But before he goes, one favour deserves another.
Just got to fill this larrikin's truck up with fuel and then I'm done. So everyone's happy. Chris has got his stuff down there. I've got my free shed. How more happy could you be?
Finally, he can head back to Perth.
Party time!
There's no pot of gold at the end of this rainbow, just a trailer load of tin, and that suits Sludge just fine. Yogi is back on the road.
This job, I love every second of it.
Behind the wheel of his truck, PJ. Earning $1.
Yeah, go, yeah.
Carting a load.
Yeah, nice one.
Missing his family.
Today is the day of checkups. Today we've got to get 100,000 major service done on the truck, and I'm going to get a medical. Every 3 years, as a driver in Western Australia, you need a current medical to drive trucks.
A serious defect in man or machine, and Yogi will be off the road.
If I don't pass my medical, I can't run my business. So it's a really awkward scenario. Like, I know the truck is good, but they might find a crack in something. I don't know, so I can't really book anything in until they give me a bit of an indication that the truck's going to be okay. So I need to be right. The truck needs to be right. If they find something else wrong, you know, that'll make me a bit jumpy, and then I've got to go and have a medical, and then you're sort of getting real jumpy. So the rest of the week does hinge on what they do find today. If they find something wrong today, it'll be a bit of a hold-up.
An expensive day, even if they don't diagnose a major fault.
Oh, I suppose it'll be a couple of grand today. See you, boys.
While Yogi leaves PJ with the mechanics, he heads off for his own service.
It's actually quite a lot of pressure today. Like, I might be a little bit jovial about it and kind of thinking, oh, yeah, it's a medical, but it is actually quite full on. If I don't get the medical, I don't get the accreditation.
It is a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Are you a bit nervous?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'd say that's why it is. The doctor will take it again because it is a little bit high.
Yeah.
Just cover one up lightly and read me the smallest line you can see.
HNTPUZUZA.
And on the scales.
It's not just the medical making Yogi nervous. A recent brush with the law has him really worried.
10 days ago, I got an infringement. The fine at one stage was around about $120,000.
Yogi was pulled over by transport inspectors, accusing him of cutting a rest break short by 6 minutes.
So they've deemed that I've started my driving time when I was technically on a break. So, which I believe I didn't, and they slugged me with a $10,000 fine. And then on that particular fine, it was because I own the company, it's 5 times to the company, so it's $60,000.
Yogi's fighting the fine. It's either that or go broke.
So that 60 grand wipes me out. See you later. done. Sell the truck, pay off my debts, walk away from the industry. My lips have been dry all week. I've been sleeping well. You know, it's just that mental strain. I mean, like, it's been playing on my mind so much. I don't know what to do. It went really well. Like, I'm very relaxed, actually, now. That went really well.
Next stop, the mechanic's yard.
Morning, lads.
For PJ's checkup.
What's going on today?
Yogi needs another win here so he can get back to work.
Chuck's all right?
Yeah. Have you spoken? Did he ring you last night?
No. I did speak to him about 2, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And he said it should be right, but I never spoke to him anything after that. But
All right. Well, should we go see Zach,
yeah,
mate?
yeah, right.
To Yogi's relief,
Yeah, right. What a day, man! What a day.
PJ has a clean bill of health.
Yeah, they're telling me the brakes are 70%, 30% worn. You know, a bit of an oil leak in the back of the sump. It's only a weep, otherwise they would have fixed it. Let's go to work. We've got a good job today. We're in front now. It's not very often we actually get in front.
Yogi's first job is to pick up a giant tractor bin 130 kilometres away. He wants this job to go well. Tonight, his son's playing sport and he wants to be there.
He's right into basketball, so it's good. I'm wrapped. Go make some money. Today is a good day. He's got a game on tonight, I'd say about 5:30, 6 o'clock. So my main focus is get it loaded, get unloaded, and then get home today. It'll be nice to go to his basketball game today. I'll be pretty stoked if we get in there tonight. So, like, I've got too many more elements that could go wrong today before I go making a promise to an 11-year-old kid that I'll get home and watch his basketball tonight.
Cue the roadworks and the stop sign.
But yeah, roadworks. Roadworks are all part of the game. Disappointment on the kids' eyes when you can't make something it's unbearable. It's gut-wrenching. It tears you in half as a parent.
The last thing he needs are any delays.
Oh, now you ring me back, Michael. Yeah, Michael, how are you, mates? Righto, okay. Righto, all right.
The load he's picking up isn't ready.
Righto. It was supposed to be ready yesterday afternoon. It's ready at 10 o'clock this morning. We've just lost an hour. So that could be the hour of actually getting to the basketball game this afternoon. We're up, right? And now we're down. We're coming on the down now, so I'm a little bit nervous.
10 o'clock. At the pickup point. But there's no sign of the load.
Half an hour would be nice to be loaded. Be nice. But yeah, now we're going to set the trailer up. So we'll just get everything set up. Everything I can do, they know I'm here. Everything I can do to get ready. Chains out, ready. Rubber's right. Dogs, chains. So when it comes, flags are out. All I do is back it on, chain it on about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It ramps up into it. So the more I can do now, the better off we're going to be. I can't do anything else. I'm set up. I'm waiting. This is my waiting face. So time's slipping away a little bit.
Yogi getting to see Jack play basketball is looking further away by the minute.
Some things in life I can't change. And sitting and waiting I can't change. There's no point stressing over it because it's beyond my control. I reckon it's just out getting finished off out the back and I'll bring it around the front.
While he's anxious to get going.
There's no point stressing over it, but we just got to keep pushing, be ready, make it happen.
Suddenly, a worrying thought.
Yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't need a pilot. I hadn't thought about that. No one said, but I didn't think either.
If the bin's more than 3.5 metres wide, he'll need an escort.
Well, 3.51 is a pilot. Yeah. The big 37 tonners and that, they're 3.8, you know, they're 4 metres wide. So that 30 tonner is 3.8.
A pilot means more delays.
Yeah, we'd have to call someone, but it's got to wait for a pilot, yeah, which is that wrecks our day, yeah. When it turns up, if it looks a bit ugly, I'll have a bit of a look. They generally say if we do need a pilot, but this is a bit of a rushed one, so.
Yogi can't relax until he gets an answer to the big question.
How we go, mate?
Yeah, they'll be about 20 minutes, so if you want to start setting up.
Righto. How wide? How are the wheels?
3.5.
3.5 out the wheels? Yep, righto, okay.
A close call, but finally he can load up and get out of here.
Just hold it there, mate. Righto. Definitely fair to say that I've lost my buffer zone.
Yogi's desperate to get to his son's basketball, but he can't afford to speed and risk another fine. But there's some good news about the $60,000 penalty for his alleged logbook violation.
The fine got dramatically reduced. I don't know why. At the moment, it's $220.
But Yogi's still in a fighting mood.
I got a full book of points. I'm very, very proud of my driving record. We will fight this until we can't fight it anymore. Ah, you're guilty. Thanks, mate.
The drop-off goes well. Now to see if he can make Jack's basketball game.
We're definitely not counting our chickens. They're not hatching yet. They're still rolling around in the incubator. We are empty. We are heading home. There's no greater feeling than being empty and heading home. Rightio. Let's go and watch basketball. How are you? This evening I feel really good because I'm home. Here we go. On Jack, big jump. Whoa. On Jack. Well done. Yeah! We made it home for basketball. You give up all the work in the world to see your kids shoot goals and have fun at a basketball court.
For Sharon Collins, keeping her whites white and her colours bright is a constant battle.
Me.
In Cloncurry in Australia's north, if the dust doesn't get you, the mud will.
Covered in mud now. There's no glamour in this industry at all.
38-year-old Sharon is a tip truck driver.
I do my job, and I do my job well, because I love it.
Her job is to pick up ore from a mine site and then tip it at a processing plant. Sounds simple enough.
It just blew it.
Few men choose a life like this, and even fewer women.
It is hard on bodies, it's hard on machines, it's hard on gear. Tyres blow, it's...
In Australia, less than 1 in 50 truckers are women.
It's a tough life, but I'm a tough person. I need pressure, I need challenges. I'm here because I love these big machines. They're absolutely impressive. Mate, they rock. I live, eat, sleep and breathe trucks. Mate, I live in a truck yard. There's nothing else.
Today is Sharon's last day before she goes on break. And she's counting on a big one, despite the forecast.
I had a look at the weather map this morning and there are predicted showers in our area, so aim to get the 2 in before the storms start.
The 2 return trips will take 8 hours. But if there's too much rain, the dirt road into the mine will shut down. Sharon only gets paid while her truck's working.
When wheels don't move, money doesn't get made. I can't rack up hours, so I don't get paid either.
Sharon needs a full day's work to keep her head above water. But the clouds ahead look ready to sink her.
I want to get out there quickly, so try and get in before the storm hits.
The further she drives, the darker it gets. Sharon's day is looking like a washout.
It looks like it's from here to the end of the earth.
But as quickly as the rain arrives, it's gone. Lucky for Sharon, she only caught the edge of this thunderstorm.
But once you go through the storm and come out the other side, it might not be that deep.
Sharon makes it to the start of the dirt road into the Lady Jenny copper mine.
Train inbound, Lady Jenny front grid. It's just got some bits that you have to be careful on.
Ahead lies 20 kilometres of jump-ups,
It's got a couple of hills that have got a bite to them.
blind corners
It is roller coastery.
and creek crossings.
Train inbound Sandy Creek.
Not the kind of road you want to haul a rig as long as a 17-storey building.
Train inbound at the grid. Oh. Come on, Vicky. Welcome to Lady Jenny. But she's pretty impressive. Righty-ho.
Time to load up. Going in the back, 73 tonnes of ore. Sharon's truck now weighs more than the space shuttle.
Thanks, mate. See ya.
With that much rock on board, she'll need to nurse her rig on the drive out.
Pulling through, you don't want to start skidding because then you're just going to start wrecking tyres. Oh.
But up ahead,
One big mongrel rocket that got to that creek there.
the warning comes too late. A tyre's blown.
Hope it's only one. There you go. Well, at least it's only one.
Dust and grit have worked their way into the wheel,
This is where a tyre on would be handy.
locking the 55-kilogram tyre onto the hub. Tight. Sharon is 3 hours into an 8-hour job. If she doesn't change this tyre soon, she'll only have time for one load, slashing her paycheck.
Seriously?
Dirt and dust have locked it onto the axle of her truck.
Mud just gets in between everything.
She's been at it for over an hour, but the wheel hasn't budged.
I did 6 of these one day. Who wants to go to the gym?
It's been a grueling workout, costing Sharon 2 hours.
It slows you down and then your 12-hour day turns into a 14-hour day. Man, it's hot. Sweating. Right, that's done.
Sharon makes it to the safety of the bitumen. But just as she thought her troubles were over,
My middle trailer is sitting out a whole lot further than normal.
one of Sharon's trailers is pulling to the right, dangerously close to the other lane.
You shouldn't see my second trailer at all.
If it gets any worse, it could clip an oncoming vehicle.
I know something's wrong, but I don't know why.
If Sharon's trailer is damaged, her paycheck and her day will end here.
I'm not happy with it. It looks abnormal.
With 50 kilometres of busy highway still left to drive and 73 tonnes of rock on board, Sharon can't take any chances.
Have a bit of a look, make sure nothing's broken. Nothing looks like it's broken,
But Sharon's still not happy.
I might just have a look where my load's sitting. It might just be the loads on one side. Oh,
Sharon's found the culprit,
there's some big rocks in there.
all 24 tonnes of it.
So there's nothing down your left-hand side, so everything's sitting sort of middle and right-hand side. And obviously the weight's just pulling my trailer out of alignment, so at least nothing's broken, but it'll just be a slow trip.
Sharon has little choice but to keep watch and hope the trailer doesn't swerve out any further.
We'll go and tip off and see how she comes coming back.
But soon, her concern is drawn away from her mirrors and towards the horizon. The black clouds she thought she'd left behind are now parked dead over where she needs to unload. And then the bad news she's been dreading.
Brad's just texted me now, Copperkin's just shut.
There's been a torrential downpour at her drop-off point. The plant has closed its gates. Her plan for even one run today looks impossible. If Sharon can't unload, the truck's at a standstill and no one's making money.
And I know you guys have said no, but I see that big cloud out the back and I'm just a bit worried about, not getting it off tomorrow either. Righto, mate, I'll be in there within half an hour. Thank you very much. See you.
Sharon's got 30 minutes to get in and out.
Righto, we're allowed in as quick as we can, get off before the storm hits because she's a pretty big front apparently. Pressure's on now.
The plant is still 4 kilometres away. As she gets closer, she sees why they closed it. Sharon's truck is the first here since the downpour, making these uncharted waters.
Unreal. That look real good.
She has no idea if this road can take the weight of her 100-ton fully loaded road train.
We were skidding the whole way getting them trailers through. Road train from the Turkey's Nest to the crossroads. Train inbound from the crossroads to the bottom of the run.
She's made it to her drop-off point with time to spare. But then...
Wow! I don't want to go through that. It's all too boggy to drive through.
She's got 10 minutes to unload 73 tonnes of rock and she can't afford to get stuck.
See, I'm slipping.
She needs to keep her wheels moving and unload at the same time.
We'll just have to go around and round and round.
But the more she moves, the more chopped up the ground gets.
Keep moving, keep moving.
2 minutes to go, and Sharon's got 1 trailer left.
Road train off the run to the crossroads, outbound. Whooping! Let's get them over here.
It's been a grueling day for Sharon. She's wrestled rocks, tyres and trailers to move just 1 load. But now, after 42 days of the same, she can finally take a break.
That's done. That's the last load. We're out.
Sharon's taken on some of the meanest trucking in Australia to move a mountain.
It's a tough life, but I'm a tough person, and I think I do my job, and I do my job well. Because I love it.
In his scrap metal yard in Alice Springs, Russell Crusher McDonough is supervising last-minute repairs.
What we've done, we've just fitted a new hose on the door on both sides of this one ram.
Before his newest piece of machinery faces its first serious money-making test.
We're going to be about 500 kilometres away, so it's easier to sort of get them done now than have to travel back. It's a 1,000-kilometre round trip to pick up a hose.
Russell found this metal-munching monster in India and decided he had to have it.
It took me 12 months, 2 trips to India, untold emails and debates and battles with customs, battles with quarantine, battles with the import people, but finally we got it here.
What started out as a bargain $50,000 buy blew out to a $200,000 investment after shipping and repairs. Now, after nearly a year of fixing, it's ready to test in his yard. This crusher is faster than Russell's previous machine, capable of crunching more than 20 tonnes of metal an hour. Russell's ready to see if his new toy can pay its way.
I'm just getting ready to head out on this trip.
He hopes to chomp through this ugly mountain of waste and through his mounting bills. The scrap metal price is rising again after 2 years in the doldrums. If the new crusher is as fast as Russell hopes, he could be in the money.
I'm quite happy with the way this thing's working out. I just look forward to tackling this pile.
But it's a huge job to eliminate a historic eyesore in an otherwise stunning outback landscape. Russell's tackled the metal mountain before, making crushing trips out here for the past 5 years.
We attempted to do this mountain with my old machine and our men, but it just was too labour intensive and no production.
This time, he hopes to make a serious dent in the pile. But first, he and his 30-year-old truck have to haul the whole operation to the site.
I love driving this truck.
A day's drive through the intense heat of Central Australia. A place where the temperature often exceeds 50 degrees. An hour into the journey, Russell stops to check everything is travelling well. A telltale trail of fluid soon lets him know it isn't. It's fuel leaking from a tank on the new crusher.
We've got a clear plastic tube on here which tells me the amount of fuel in this 1,000-litre tank. It came off at the top just with the heat and fell down. It's that far back I couldn't see it.
Around 200 litres of diesel have been lost. A frustrating start to Russell's trek to test his new crusher out at a metal dump site at Uluru.
Luckily I did stop here. Luckily I didn't stop at Ayers Rock because I'd had no fuel then.
Back on the highway, the heat is sweltering, testing man and machine.
Leaving in the heat of the day is not the cleverest thing to do. It's not about getting there quickly, it's just about getting there. Still remember the old fairy book tale about the tortoise and the hare. The old turtle got there first in the end, but that's because he just kept at it.
But the tortoise didn't have to worry about a dodgy radiator and a 30-year-old engine overheating.
And I can smell coolant. And I can smell coolant. I can see that. It got warm and just spat a bit out of the overflow. But it's just consistently sitting on 100 there. Now it might be something a bit more serious, so I just pull up and have a look. I've started slowing down. It hasn't cooled down yet.
It's worse than Russell expected. The radiator's nearly dry, the old engine close to seizing.
This really is a serious problem, so I've just got to, deal with it.
It needs water in a hurry. He can't wait for the radiator to cool down. It's cold water into a hot radiator.
Starting to swallow water now without spitting it back out.
At last, the temperature gauge is starting to drop. It looks like he's finally got things under control. The temperature is back down to where it should be. Russell's found the culprit.
The radiator cap rusted out and busted apart, so it's just pumped all the water out.
After all the repair work, the engine's cool. And it's Russell who's overheating.
All right, well, looks like it might be all right. But I'll give it a run up the road now and just see how it goes.
Back on the road, gauges are warning him once again.
80 is like a nice temperature, 100 is starting to get warm, 110 is too much.
The engine temperature is on the rise.
It's just working hard coming through these hills, so the temperature's back up again, but that's because it's working. Got about 90, 95. It's not exactly cool outside, but we're just about to crest this hill. It all changes. That's it, going uphill, hard work, going downhill, not so bad.
But after a long, sweaty day, at last the engine's running cool and the heat is out of the sun. Russell will have a night in the desert to help him chill out. In the morning, he'll fire up his new machine and take on this, a scrap metal mountain. For decades, it's been a scar on the landscape. 25 kilometres from the world-famous rock, a dumping ground for everything metal.
Hello, mate. Good to see you. Yeah.
The Resort Waste Services Manager, Mark Standing, is overseeing the massive clean-up.
If we're in a town, you know, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, whatever, this stuff would be worth a fortune. You'd make a mint out of it. But because of the transport costs, we can't just take it 450 k's, you know what I mean? And that's only to Alice. Then Alice would have to ship it down to Adelaide or over to Sydney or whatever.
The question now is, will Russell's imported crusher be up to the job?
Well, I don't know. The last time I saw that new machine, it was somewhat of a mess. So I haven't actually seen it operating, but I've heard that it is a very good machine.
But Russell's not happy with what he's found.
I'm here to do with the scrap metal, and all there is dirt pushed up everywhere. Dirt, trees.
A bulldozer has pushed the pile into a smaller area, mixing the metal with sand.
We sell steel, not dirt. It completely blows out the window what I had in my head that I was going to do. I was intent on just digging a little track into a mountain, and then I would have been surrounded on 3 sides.
Piling on the pressure, Russell's mate Buddy from Adelaide is waiting to cart the crushed cubes of scrap away. His time is money.
The main priority is to actually start seriously producing some product that I can load onto this truck.
Time to get to work.
There's going to be a fair bit of this mucking around, just moving small stuff out of the way so I can get closer to the bigger, more concentrated piles.
The new crusher is just what Russell hoped it would be. Stronger and faster than the last one.
10 bales done so far. Try and get him a couple of loads ready. Take advantage of the fact that he's already here.
Suddenly, hydraulic fluid's bleeding from the loading arm. The operation grinds to a halt.
So the fittings might have come loose, I've just got to tighten it up, hopefully.
It's the new crusher's first big test, but after a promising start, this is a worrying fail. The downtime isn't just costing Russell money. His mate Buddy has an idle truck. He's waiting to cart the scrap metal bales 2,000 kilometres to city markets.
Yeah, I can tell when he starts walking around like this that he's getting impatient, right? So I've got to get this stuff baled and onto his truck. The last thing I want to see is him driving out of here empty and cranky.
My birthday's in November. I should be unloaded by then.
He needs a quick fix for his $200,000 metal muncher.
All good now.
With more lost time and with Buddy getting impatient,
Hurry up, I want to get loaded.
Russell needs this operation to go at double speed. Time for the big guns. With a borrowed bulldozer, he carves out a path to the middle of the mountain, where the crusher can get stuck into the serious stuff.
There's room enough for me to get in, and then there's room enough for Buddy to back in, and as I make the bales, I can throw them straight on him.
At last, Russell's conquering the mountain.
Now I've got that first trailer done. I've got this hole here. I'm home and hosed. Everything's going good. This pile's here. I've got it beat.
Thanks to Russell and his crusher, a small part of a famous piece of Australia will be restored to its original and beautiful state.
Some trouble will happen somewhere. This bloody wind and dust blowing all day is just really painful.
Veteran trucker Steve Grahame has been called in to clean up a mess.
This is a real mongrel Mad Max load.
He'll be hauling away the cars and trucks of people who took on Australia's harshest outback roads and lost.
I just don't want to know what happens sometimes to trucks like that. I can imagine. When I look at that cab, I have to think the worst. So I don't really want to think about it. It's just a sad state of affairs all round.
Having travelled the outback for over 40 years, for Steve, these wrecks are all harsh reminders of the dangers he faces every day.
You know, when you crash trucks and crash cars, it does enter your mind that someone could have come badly to grief there. And, you know, it makes me sad to think about that. In all honesty, I think if you haven't been in the game for a long time, you don't want to pull loads on like this.
It's a difficult load. First up, precision reversing, backing a 20-wheel tipper that only just fits onto his trailer.
If I miss something here with all this junk going on this road train, it'll bite me. It'll come back and haunt me. So I have to plod along, do it slowly, miss nothing and get it right the first time. Righto, Tony, would you mind straightening me up with this, please, mate?
Next, the cars, dollies, truck and trailers.
Now I'm going to put this car on that trailer and a dolly on that trailer. And then I'm going to put that trailer with the car and dolly on top of it, on top of that trailer. Right, that's the last trailer loaded. All I'm going to do is chain the freight on, put the road train together.
Ahead is a gruelling and uncertain journey with his faithful companion, Bella.
And someone wants a bit of a cool down.
At the end of it all, Steve's assembled a monster of a rig.
We would like to do it in 72 hours, but with this load and with the conditions and everything, it's 4 days. Got the load on and fueled up.
2,800 kilometres on the dirt back roads.
When you're pulling a load like this one across that road, you've got to be careful.
It's got even an outback veteran like Steve worried.
You know, it's not the sort of load to throw onto a mongrel road like the Chukaruru road and necessarily expect to come out the other end. You can't get too tired, you can't let yourself get tired, you can't wander around and you can't stop checking. You've got to keep checking everything all the time. You get one loose strap or one loose chain and you've got cars up on top of trailers, things like that, then you've got real problems. As soon as it's loose, fix it.
Steve makes another unscheduled stop.
Righto, I'll have a look at this load. I don't see any problems with it in the mirrors, but it pays to check. Nail it all down. Come on, dog, come for a run. Yeah, you'd hate to have a toolbox come open, you'd lose... Hello? What's going on here?
It's a new backup fuel tank full of emergency diesel.
I've got a leak out of my fuel pod. What am I going to do here? It's made a mess over here. I just put 800 litres of fuel in this pod and hate losing diesel. If I get the filler hose and put on that and clamp it off and put the hose back into it, I'll save it. What I'm going to do, attach this and tie it off up the top, and then the fuel can't escape. It can't get above its own height. That's good. That could have been a major drama, but now the fuel, all the fuel can do is go in the pipe, and the furthest it can go is to its own height there.
Back on the road, Steve's a temporary tourist as he cruises past Uluru. But the safety of the bitumen is about to end.
We're getting on the dirt now.
From here on, the road is red and rough. It'll take all of Steve's experience to keep his truck and his giant load the right way up. On this section, a grader's working, closing the main track.
It's totally unpredictable what happens next.
Traffic's diverted through narrow detours.
If it's anything like normal, there'll be some sort of a challenge thrown at us out here.
No good for a road train the size of Steve's.
Trevor, the grader driver, do you copy?
He needs a helping hand.
Righto, mate, so I can sneak up on the formation at the start of it?
Steve's in luck. The formation is the wider, freshly graded section.
Well, that's good news. That's really good news. This is why I asked if I could get up on the formation. These detours around these new culverts are very tight for a triple.
He has a whole new road to himself.
Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. It's a bit of good old Outback, good manners going on here. People helping each other. It's a damn good thing. And now it's pretty cruisy. But I don't want to get too excited because there's another 1,100 kilometres to go, and let's see what can happen.
He doesn't have to wait too long.
Yeah, and why do I make these big, sweeping, stupid statements? You'd think at my age I would have learned. Within 2 seconds of being so happy with the road, it's gone to absolute corrugated crap. Can't believe it. Story of my life. Mongrel Mad Max load better hang on back there.
It's rough, and it's going to get rougher.
What I'm hearing is the West Australian side's terrible. It was pretty rough when I come across here 7 weeks ago. Now, if it's had 7 weeks of traffic on it, it could be really, really bad. We'll see. It's Outback trucking. You've got to take what you get.
He's been warned the corrugation on this remote dirt highway is extreme.
I've heard it's real bad from the border onwards.
No good for a triple road train, carting damaged trucks, cars and trailers that bounce around, causing straps and chains to come loose.
It's just the mongrel corrugation, just flogging everything, smashing everything to bits. If ever you're going to have trouble with a load, it's this sort of mongrel Mad Max, chain-grabbing, strap-breaking sort of a load. All I know is I've got 1,000 kilometres of dirt. Could all be like this. A bloke said to me a while ago, I suppose you get used to corrugations after a while, and he came that close to me throwing him out that door. It wasn't funny. You never get used to corrugations and you never get to like them.
Steve has no choice but to stay on the corrugation. The deep, sandy sides are even more of a hazard.
I just heard 2 blokes talking about a truck that's bogged on the side of the road, so I'll just back off a bit in case anyone wants to wave me down.
A few kilometres later, the deserted truck.
Oh yeah, he's jumped up on the windrow. Well, that looks like the bitumen to me. I'll be glad to get on it, I think.
Finally, the road improves and welcome signs of civilization. And then, unwelcome ones.
Still, roadworks is part of the deal, isn't it? You can't have roads without roadworks.
Time to stop and take stock of the wear and tear of the last 1,000 kilometres of dirt.
This is where I've got to pump up my stair tyres, put them back up as hard as I can get them, and then I'll go around and I'll knock this dust out of these wheels, check my load, and we'll keep on going. I'm back in civilisation here.
He's also back in phone range. The end of the solitude he enjoys on these big outback runs.
As soon as I got in phone range, the phone went mad. I've got people with messages about this, people waiting for this. It's the usual story. I'm going to have to start ringing a few people and telling them they won't be seeing their freight tomorrow, they'll be seeing it the day after.
Steve no longer has the road to himself.
It's getting busy now.
He's on the homeward leg, 3 hours out of Perth.
The hazards change. I think I'd rather be out on the Great Central Road, sometimes just dealing with the corrugations.
But at 53 metres long, he can't enter the city limits.
The maximum length a road train can be from here on is 36.5 metres. So I've got to drop the back 20 metres off, which is the back trailer and dolly.
To stay legal, Steve will offload his back trailer.
It's because of roadside furniture, roundabouts, people in cars. It is what it is. So that third trailer stays here, gets towed in by a contractor. I go in with these two.
By nightfall, Steve's on the outskirts of Perth. His 2,800 kilometre trek is almost over.
So what I'm doing is take this trailer home now, come back and get that one, and tomorrow we start to unload it. Tomorrow this poor old truck gets to its final destination and things get unloaded.
Next morning, the final delivery.
We've got to keep on cracking on, we've got to unload this load.
The crashed truck he's had on the back all the way, reminding him of the dangers of trucking life.
And of course, every time I look in the mirror and I see the tanker, it disconcerts me. I hate looking at the thing in the mirror. I look in the mirror and I get a sudden sense of, oh my God, am I going over? It's unreal, it's not good.
It's the end of the road for this written-off victim of the Outback.
Good to go, Travis?
And the end of another epic journey for Steve Grahame. After weeks away, Steve's back home.
Thanks, Travis. She's all yours, mate.
Finally time to stop being the trucker and be the family man.
Get some gear serviced and go and see the grandkids. I've got 6 little grandkids that need me to go and say good day to them. And I've got some presents to dish out. I'll go and buy some love.